Well, we need to look up at the sky, at the stars and the moon. And joining us today, Natural's Dan Hodge is in to tell us more because, you know, the night sky is just a beautiful thing, isn't it?
It's so important to be able to, you know, kind of appreciate our sort of view of the universe. One of the cool things that's happening right now, it's actually going on right now, is the Geminid meteor shower. So we have a couple of times when we were able to see meteors coming through the atmosphere and be able to see falling stars, you know. And this is one of perhaps the best in the Northern Hemisphere, the Geminids. Really, it's a cool thing to experience. It's something I think a lot of people miss out on because it's cold outside.
Right, yeah, bundle up though.
And so you gotta get a little bundled up so that you can get outside and appreciate these. You know, the Geminid meteor shower is associated with the constellation Gemini, right? If maybe you are a Gemini, I don't know. But
no, I'm not.
The constellation Orion is easy for me to pick out in the sky. So if you look to the east as the sun sets, you know, we're looking at you know, 7, 8, 9 o'clock. You'll see Orion come up. Gemini is really close. He's right sort of above Orion, and that's kind of where we see these meteors. They're not associated with the stars. The stars are far away. Mm-hmm. The meteors are in our atmosphere, so they're not associated. But that's kind of where we see them coming from. So look to the east, really peaking on December 14th and 15th. There is a full moon around that time, so it'll be hard to maybe look away from the moon. You'll be able to see the meteors pretty well anywhere in the sky, but that's kind of where they're coming from. So we're watching this. It's actually kind of cool because they're produced by an asteroid that's kind of making laps around the sun, and we're going into sort of the debris trail of this asteroid, different than a comet, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So it's a rock that's spinning around. We're not going to hit the asteroid, but we're going to be able to see some of the debris, and some of it's relatively large, maybe the size of a pea, and that's going to produce brilliant trails across.
See,
you know, that doesn't sound very large.
Yeah, I would say a large pea.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. A large, so we'll be able to see some of these fireballs. Geminids are kind of known for producing really great meteors. So it's really cool. We're going to have a program out at the Park District at Deep Cut Historical Park, which is kind of on the west southern part. It's actually in Auglaize County. And the Lima Astronomical Society is going to help us do that. I don't know much about meteors. They know a lot.
And they'll bring their equipment.
And it's going to be great. We're going to look at other things too. So even if we're not looking at the shower, we'll be looking at celestial objects. And you know, participating and viewing the night sky is a really important thing. They did a recent study looking at sort of the connectedness that people had with the night sky and how important it was. They really showed that the more connected you are, the better your mental health, and the better your happiness, really sort of the better your perspective on kind of where we sit in the universe, you know? And maybe that makes sense a little bit. Being able to kind of picture the cosmos and kind of where we land in it. The less likely, or the less connected you are with the night sky, the less likely you are to protect it. And our night skies need protecting. Right,
exactly. Well, and sometimes it's hard to see. If you're in town, there's a lot of lights. But we could talk about light pollution and how you go out further, you see the stars a little bit better. But still, even in Allen County, it's not perfect.
Right. You know, the closer you are to an urban center, the more light pollution that you're going to have, the less likely you're going to be able to see the stars, you know. And, of course, as our urban centers grow, even as in rural areas, you know, we're putting more and more light into the atmosphere. And that means we're going to see less and less stars, and the less we see, the less we're going to protect, the less our kids are going to see, and the less they're going to even know exists out there. So I think it's pretty easy. There's a lot of pollution in the world, and there's a lot of waste, and it's hard. You know, we got to drive cars, and we got to eat food, and waste comes with some of those things. You know how easy it is to turn your lights off?
Flick the switch.
Click, turn your lights off. And it's great, too, because there are ways for those lights that we do need. Maybe we don't need the one shining on our house or you know, shining up for those that we do need, there's ways to kind of mitigate how much pollution gets out. We can shine our lights where we need them and not where we don't need them. And that'll help mitigate some of this light pollution so that we can experience more of the night sky and appreciate kind of our spot in the universe, you know?
Exactly. It's so great to see the stars. Well, Dan, thanks for coming today. Awesome
I'm glad to be here. You got to get outside, even in the cold.
Exactly.
And even at night, we can enjoy it.
All right. Don't go away. First Edition continues in a moment.